the #2 ranked heavyweight in the world, Tommy the Duke Morrison. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, where, ladies and gentlemen, from Houston, Texas, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Big George Foreman.
Let's get it on.
Kind of guy that George might influence to stop a fight when he wants it stopped. Round number 1.
Just how Tommy Morrison handles the movement that George has. Said he was going to use his jab more in this fight. He does have a very good solid jab as soon as the fight starts.
This or the stage fright we referred to on the part of Tommy Morrison, who knows that his career is over. Most people feel considered a serious title contender.
Good left hook got George's attention.
Tommy Morrison. There were rumors that Morrison a bad right hand. He said it was a weeks ago and that he's 100%. Foreman, on the other hand, has been by elbow in the last several months. Claims to be over that. He accepts it's just signs of.
George Foreman is just walking in, but he's not throwing any, moving in behind that left jab at all. Good left hook.
Much in Morrison's strategy. Let's see if he
told us he was going to do. And again, you know, George is just walking.
Under 30 seconds. Combination, just grazing the chin of Foreman. There's a good left to the ear. Foreman to punch. Another.
There's a 7 is a jab. Outside of that, I don't know.
Well,
Changes his strategy at all. In this first round, Tim, he looked like a fighter that looking for the opening. Gets to my brain the openings. Well, let's see if George comes out of that doldrum now.
Morrison off the clinch. That's a verse in there.
It was one of those times when George did not Morrison's back.
Concentrated, very poised.
No, you can't relax. Morrison already has a little lump under his right eye.
Good right hand. That snapped back the head of Foreman.
Morrison work and hopefully tire Morrison out because
WBO title at stake.
Good left hook by Morrison. Why?
Those are the kinds of costly, possibly, and his trainer Tommy Vergitz
said it takes him a long time to get off. He's a
sample right there.
That's
good
what
job.
He's been doing.
Now Morrison looks a little more loose to me, Gil.
I'm having everything my own way.
Try. There's a good right hand from Foreman.
Let's take a look at this replay here. Now they're coming out of a clinch. George pushes him, but doesn't push him hard enough. Gets nailed with a good left hook. There's that right hand, and that did wobble George. George's legs did a little dance.
Well, he had a clean shot with that right hand down the pipe. His best punch of the round. 2 rounds. Foreman the more accurate, 55. 3 scheduled for 12. Tim Ryan in Las Vegas.
And now jab as he told and forgot about it. And it just seems George's out.
Morrison warned for elimination. The left jab followed by
Morrison.
A right hand lead, an uppercut that scored from Foreman, and a right hand behind it. And punches back. Move by Morrison underneath the camp says they've worked on since the last. Better jabbing, better movement.
Move him. Look how long it takes for George to get. He has Morrison in and Tommy's not, and it's early in the fight.
That he seemed to bring into the ring. The first one he got one against Joe Hip when he came.
I thought he got a second win against College. Tim, he looked like he was out of it. The second win.
And another good one. Looks more relaxed. He does look a little tired, but he's more relaxed.
Breathing heavy now, Tim. On putting that pressure.
Foreman
gets close and you don't want to throw. There was that solid left hook to the body.
2 good combinations. Landed one by Foreman, then Foreman taking 2 back from Morrison. Verget's in the Morrison corner saying, I need more sevens. He could use those at the casino. So there's one coming from him, and two more. Foreman dug a left to the body, but counterpunch and good jab.
And a good left. Another.
Back up Morrison with the jab.
Two hands are free.
George Foreman.
Watch out.
Morrison landed a left hook to his ear and fought. Now a short right inside from Foreman. It's opening up. Morrison trading, lands a... Morrison works his way out of the corner and patience early in the round, and knowing they're in for a war here.
If Tommy Morrison take a back step, so far George is putting all the pressure on Morrison. Constant.
66% to 30 punched that, guys. Just under 30 seconds we go in round 4. Morrison back to the jab. Big short right from Foreman. To Morrison at right hand. He's thrown one back for center of his, but it's still been an effective weapon for him. Just the fact that he has been throwing. Morrison. Low blow from Foreman and a good left hook by Morrison.
Two good left hooks by Tommy Morrison, and George didn't move. Those were Morrison's best two punches of the fight. And you can just see George putting that back, pushing him back as we had.
The 226 for Tommy Morrison. Feints the right hand, throws a left jab out. Cut but landed a good left hook.
And George, you have to remember, as 44-year-old
fight against Alex Stewart. Approaching the midway mark here in round 4. Foreman tell Angelo Dak to the corner he wanted no counsel from the veteran trainer, and Dundee. George keeps his own.
It's not free, Tim. Angelo gets paid.
The fifth. Damaging in that exchange.
George just keeps walking forward.
Effectively. In the second half, Morrison breathing with his mouth open as we begin round 6. But he
went back to the corner at the end of the last round, Tim. Tommy tired. If he's walking without working. Thing in mind later on in the fight.
The left cat question has been answered. Stage fright or ability. Very much. Factor Gill, game plan he wanted time, and that's just stalk you.
It's really taking Morrison in the corner or against the, but he is putting
the meat.
Absolutely, I think he's winning this.
Combination from eye of George Foreman. Damage, there it is again, and
tremendous Morrison.
The right eye of Foreman.
And he grabs Morrison in the corner, takes him. Now let's see when.
We talked about Morrison. Have to wonder how far along in this his pressure up, bring his own fatigue. He's
walk forward though, Tim, than to go backwards. Foreman. Another right hand by Foreman.
He answered back with a good combination. Ali shuffle on that right hand, and a big and a right hand lands. You could hear Angelo Dundee saying to Foreman, the jab is everything, son. Angelo is old enough to call George a son.
And Tim, there was a nice combination from George Foreman.
To be positioned under him better. He is definitely tired. His trainer, Tommy Verget, saying this is 7.
The second win this early, Tim.
From Morrison, and a left hand. The uppercut score. He can't seem to move Foreman back, but how much can the old man take? He lands a right of his own. Combination from Foreman, not a lot on it. Missed with the right, and another right hand from Gore.
Took his best shots, firing back.
He got thumbed at. Foreman landing with his thumb into the left.
Taking those punches for Brett now.
Lead to this point. Hanging to the body is Morrison. And a left from Foreman that landed. Foreman.
Well, we had mentioned when Morrison can move forward that he's taking over the through that. No matter what he does, George just keeps coming.
Under 30 seconds in round. The factor it is his left jab.
And you need more combination. Inside.
That right hand lead from Morrison. Catching Foreman unawares. And a sneaky left hook there, and that uppercut underneath.
All right, here we go. Seconds out.
That's where he got here to bother Morrison. His corner telling him he's in control. He may be.
Goes on. It looks like Morrison is 44-year-old George, very remarkable, taking a come forward. He's got to say to himself to stop this big guy.
Gil, if you know you're making the notion that he is in control, or do you avoid saying that?
Well, Tim, what I and
He's been missing, but he just landed it there.
he doesn't get off. And
Low blow from Foreman, and he takes it off.
That's the second one. Next time, it's going to cost you a point, okay?
There's a look at it. And
You
Lane
get
telling
5 minutes.
Foreman he'll
10
take a
points
point
ready.
away. He
That's
had
the
Warner
second.
previously.
Next time, it'll cost you a point. No point yet, okay?
he's not taking a point.
No, he said.
Certainly,
Well, he said
should have taken a point.
well, you should have taken a point. Is that what you're
Absolutely.
saying? All right. Well, he simply said to Foreman, action continuing. Nothing else. Taking the pain, it served as a little breather for Morrison. Not take the full 5 minutes he could have.
Good left hook to the body by Morrison.
And another good left hook.
That rest seemed to revitalize Morrison a little better.
And in the 8th round. They have to round and not quite as generous as you. Gil, mark that you raise certainly remain. He's fighting a 44-year-old.
Well, it's a matter of styles, Tim. Next fight, walking in. No, I'm
Finish them up and don't stay there. We're into round scheduled for 12. This being for the championship of valued by some, but not by George Foreman. He said a dandy. The sweat of Foreman.
the right hand by Morrison.
And he's getting some chance from Tommy in the crowd. Dry out the soles of his feet.
Tell you one thing, to Morrison, no matter how many times Morrison hits him. From George Foreman, and I don't see him. There I saw him. There's that uppercut by Morrison. Morrison is landing most of the clean punches. But he can't get off. Look how he stays there before he...
A badly timed shot from Foreman there. Landed much power. Yeah. Good combination around the ring. That mouth open for a number of rounds. All the way back to the 3rd. But I don't think his...
Before George gets a punch, he's never threw a punch.
And they're to effect from Foreman.
A quick up, making tall.
Let's take a look at this action in the clinch there. And you can see George trying to push Tommy Morrison away. And Mills Lane stepped in and Morrison in.
Despite breathing heavily in round 9 through 42 punches, landed 37%.
Again, we had foot speed and a punching power. But George, I know, takes it to landed too many.
Gil, we're in the 10th round. Would you agree?
Well, I have Morrison. If Foreman could win the last.
Here's Morrison with the right behind it on the cross.
Morrison scouted him.
I think they have to kind of come around here, should he win this fight, to feel that he has fought intelligently and kept to his strategy.
Morrison, Tim, was affected by that right hand by George Foreman. It didn't look like a big punch, but it bothered Tommy. And now let's see how George reacts. And Morrison wobbled a little bit, Tim.
Yes, he did, off a short left from George. Another one
pushing him back into the corner.
Morrison trying to keep his feet under. That's a little better. A right hand behind the left hook. Foreman
is really starting to look angry now. Big swelling underneath that right eye. And they're booing Morrison for moving away.
By Foreman. That blocked Morrison. Morrison comes back with a right of his own.
Big right hand by Morrison.
It's up. Yep.
There you can see that low blow by George Foreman. Morrison answered nicely with a good left hook on the button.
It did cost Foreman a point, and there's a very good left hook back as Gill described.
And again, Mills Lane's the referee. That was 97-94 Morrison.
Handily ahead, having given back in the fourth. But Morrison has been the busier fighter.
A cat and a dog. The dog in the corner, and then the cat scratches the heck out of him.
Learned earlier that he would factor in these late rounds.
Well, Wyndham, it looks like he did.
But for 12,
and you see,
down by.
Again, George had him in the corner first. Nails him with some kind of punch or the other. Walking in. Fighters get old all of a sudden. George, you can certainly see this because it's taking him so long to pull the trigger on any punches, even if he.
The clinch again. Morrison's well throughout the fight. That left hook minute to go on the 11th.
Well, Morrison now around. Got to say, and again, doesn't get.
He's abandoned his jet.
Winning these rounds because Morrison's retreat. George is getting nailed.
Foreman can believe that, although Angelo break. He's playing right into the final round. And you got to believe Morrison may be on the continue should he lose here tonight, but that's indicated that a loss would after his glorious career, especially the second. Morrison counter says, be tight, be close, don't leave yourself open. Good right hand.
If he loses the fight, don't be surprised if he doesn't say he's going to fight again.
Rematch maybe. 4 at age 44. The monkey off his back. Silence the skeptics.
Good right hand by George.
George Foreman showing that great championship hasn't backed up since the fight is over here. He'll begin filming in under a minute to go in the fight.
You can just see Tommy Morrison get, no matter how long George has him trapped on the rope, Morrison still beats him to the punch.
It was a good left hook, but I don't think as punished.
And again, it could add to the controversy of Mills Lane, although he certainly did the right thing by stopping the fight and fixing that tape.
Just following the rules. I don't think there can be any controversy, and it's loose again. They didn't repair it well. And he calls time with 11 seconds left, but they keep fighting.
Lets them fight.
The 24-year-old.
Mills Lane, you were right about Mills Lane.
Ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you the winner of this bout will be the WBO World Heavyweight Champion. We go to for the winner and new champion, Tommy the Duke Morrison.
What the final punch stat revealed, Tommy Morrison followed his game plan superbly, delivering